Who could be the Panthers? That's where I'm at right now. First team of the year to fire the head coach Frank Reich. Gosh, that's I don't even
Hey,
feel like it's on
hey,
Frank necessarily.
I'm gonna stop you before someone corrects you. Second coach of the year. It's just been
Oh,
so
that's
long since
right.
Josh
So
McDaniels got
sorry.
fired. We
Thank you.
forgot.
Yes. So sorry. Thank you. Yeah, McDaniels. Now it's Reich. And yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a few more head coaches, obviously, that are gonna be gone by the year's end, but or by off season. But I don't even think this is necessarily fully on Reich because it kind of felt like what happened in Indianapolis, where it's just a failure of organization that just kind of let this whole mess come to be. And the Panthers, that's a we were kind of saying it about the Browns a few years ago. Like, who's gonna want to take this job right now with no draft pick in the first round, not much talent, an owner who's having a panic attack, not a real panic attack, but panicking after he leaves the locker room. That's a rough look. You're a bad team in the worst division in football. You're the worst team. That's not a good spot to be in.
And you being like, if there was ever a year for you to actually play to win instead of being like maybe Arizona where you're playing but also playing to lose for a good draft pick, it was this year. And to your point, they don't have that pick. The Chicago Bears right now are just looking.
Yeah.
Their eyes are bright and wide, and they're just like, we're gonna have two top four picks, maybe two top five picks. Like
Yeah.
they're bad. The Panthers are bad, and I think Wright got fired because not at one point this year did you ever think that they were turning anything around. Did they have a promising half to make you think, oh, Bryce Young looks good, like this Panthers team might build off this? Not one time this year. Let it also be known he was a very big advocate for Bryce Young, and you have to wonder if Tepper, the owner, is now furious at something like that.
Wait, you're saying that Reich was a big proponent of Bryce Young?
Per reports around the draft, Frank Wright was
Okay.
a Bryce Young over CJ Stroud guy. Now, look, if you flip him, is CJ Stroud having the year he's having in Houston? No, because look at the team that's around him. But you still have that buyer's remorse, I think, a little bit in the back of your head right now, saying this guy literally is already locked up offensive rookie of the year. If you don't believe me, go look at the sports books. He's about minus 2,200 on the books. CJ Stroud is to win rookie of the year. That's pretty much locked up. If the Texans find themselves in a playoff spot,
Right.
probably going to be in the MVP conversation. I think it's probably a little bit of both. There was never any reason for you to think the Panthers were going to figure something out. And I think, to your point, the owner having his outbreak coming out of the locker room, probably a little upset that they let
I
a coach
yeah.
have a lot of say.
Well, I think Tepper was the one that wanted Bryce Young. The coaching staff, according to reports, was the one that wanted CJ Stroud, and then he overruled them.
No, see, I there was one that came out the other day that said Wright was the young guy.
Okay.
But by the way,
I'll make sure to.
The Panthers interim head coach now is Chris Tabor, the special teams coordinator who was used to be here in Cleveland.
Well, David Tepper did say that the decision, I think it was this past week, the decision was unanimous. He disputed the reports that Reich preferred Stroud, and Tepper tipped the scales, leading the team to draft Young. He said, as far as Bryce Young is concerned, I think everybody in the building would share this sentiment. We are totally confident in that pick, but we don't know for sure. The point is they have Young, and he has not looked like it sucks that Stroud is balling out this season, even though he just lost this past week. But yeah, he looks like small out there. He looks like he's running around. He looks like he's like kind of not getting a lot of help. And it sucks because it's kind of in the same way. It's wait, Pete Brown. Some Browns fans think of Baker Mayfield, where he never had stability. He had four head coaches in 3 years and all that. But he's going to have a third head coach by the time next fall rolls around. So that could be some questionable structure there in Carolina compared to a guy like D'Amico Ryans, who looks like he's got something brewing here in Houston and might be the guy for the long term. But I don't know, dude. Again, we're gonna have a lot of changes in the offseason. I think last night's game proved that we're gonna have at least one coaching change because how the Vikings did not win a game against the Bears is beyond me. I know, and here's the thing: I know the Bears fans don't want to win right now because you want to get as high to high top 4 picks as you can. I don't want the Bears to have the number 1 pick because I'm pretty sure if whoever goes number 1, here's the thing though. We've been saying for months now, whoever goes number 1 is going to take Caleb Williams. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be the guy at this point. There's this whole thing with the UCLA safety that's been getting. He's like one of the top players in his position in quite a while. Obviously Marvin Harrison's up there, but I don't know if he'll necessarily go number 1. I just want them to get in a spot where they can't take Williams. They try for somebody on defense and then go get Marvin Harrison, but then I'm afraid that Arizona is going to take Marvin, and God forbid that man ends up in that organization. I know what you're saying. Well, the Bears organization is much better. They have the tools right now. They have these specific tools that if you put them together in this little machine, it could put something together really well. There's not a lot in Arizona right now. There's nothing, not a lot. As much as I like, what's his name, Jonathan Gannon, there's nothing, not at all.
I just want to take quarterback because I want Fields to actually get a shot.
Yes.
in Chicago. I thought it was interesting. I can't remember who exactly it was, but a reporter from Boston, because Mitch, after the Panthers, who are 1-10, the team that holds the number 2 pick in draft right now would be the New England Patriots.
Oh my God.
And he was very vocal on a show yesterday saying that he would not take Caleb Williams because of the crying incidents he's had, because of the plummet of his play as the season went on, saying like, that's not what we're used to. Well, newsflash, New England. If you're going to try to base everything off of what you were used to for 20 plus years, you're never going to be anything ever. Because you tried to pretty much do what it seems with Mac Jones, and now you've thrown him to the side. Bailey Zappi. I mean, Mitch, how did an organization like the Patriots, the best organization with the best quarterback, the best head coach, they look like they're in a really bad spot? Because when have you ever seen Bill Belichick not name a starting quarterback? Well, you only had about 2-3 years to see it happen.
Yeah.
And then pull the guy he starts for another guy who may have had a really successful game last year against a team from Cleveland. We don't need to talk about that, though. The Patriots either are tanking the best way possible that I've ever seen, and they're all geniuses there, which that's very possible because it's the Patriots, or they're going to be in a world of hurt, and I will feel sorry for any Patriots or Boston fan whatsoever.
The game against Germany pretty much confirmed that they are going to punt the rest of the season, and Williams to New England would be good right now. You also have Drake May up there, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick, whether it be to the Giants. There are also some people saying that the Falcons could trade up to the Bears' 4th pick and maybe try and go get Drake May, but I don't know if that's going to necessarily be the case. You also have Bo Nix in there, Jaden Daniels.
I was going to say, Bo, top. To me, Bo Nix, I would have to take over Drake May with how he's played this year.